And next we have actually the pointing. Okay, are you guys familiar with pointing? It is the same thing as plaster, but we do not cover maybe the brick faces, maybe the headers, maybe the stretchers of the brick. Okay, so we don't cover them. We just fill the joints, and then that is just known by the pointing. And these things are very famous
Okay.
in the construction of the, you can say, walls of the government buildings, maybe you can say, okay? Let me just show you the diagram. You can see it. We have the, let's say this is brick, and here the joint is just filled with the mortar. You can see that. There are a bunch of types, okay? However, these two are very common, so I have just picked them, okay, up in the same presentation, okay? One is just actually the deep stroke pointing, and then we have the flash or flush pointing. So these two are commonly used, okay, for buildings. That's why we will just cover them only. The process or maybe the analysis for the same pointing is actually the same thing as the analysis for plaster work. Now, what we do in plaster work is actually we determine the wet volume, then we determine the dry volume because plaster is actually just the same thing as mortar. And then we, of course, we determine the cement and then the sand. We actually repeat the same process for the pointing. However, in plaster, the thickness of the plaster and the thickness of the pointing can be different. Okay, what should be the thickness for the deep stroke pointing? It should be 13 mm. And for the flush pointing, it should be 6 mm. Is that clear? We have some message in the chat. No sound, sir. I'm just in hurry and I will just do one more topic and then we will end the session, okay? So in the pointing, we have these two types, okay? Deep stroked, here I have just mentioned stroke. It is just actually deep stroked, okay? And then the flash pointing. So you have to use 6 mm thickness for the flash and 13 mm thickness for the deep stroked, okay? Okay, let's just have an example. You guys can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we have a flash pointing, and it is, you can say, 800 square feet. Okay, the area that is just 800 square feet. Now, the cement mortar, that is actually 1:3. I think this data is just enough to determine different materials for the same pointing, okay? You have to use 800 SFT, I mean the same area for deep stroke pointing. And then you have to send me the quantity of cement and then the quantity of sand, okay? Let me just calculate these two things for the same pointing. We need the volume of the pointing. For that, we will just multiply the area of the pointing with the thickness, okay? The area that is just known, which is 800 SFT. And the thickness that is also just known, okay? If you remember, we have noted it, right? And that is actually 1/4 inches, or maybe if you remember, it was just, you can see it, okay? 6 mm. So 6 mm is just the same thing as 1/4 inches, okay? For the deep stroke, you have to use 1/2 inches, no problem, or you can say half inch. Okay, so now the volume must be area times the thickness. Area is known at 100. The thickness is 1/4 inches. But if you see the area, that is in square feet. However, the thickness, it is just 1/4 inches. It means we have to convert inches into feet first, okay? That's why we have to divide this by 12, okay? Because 1 feet means 12 inches. Now, area times thickness, that should be 16.67 CFT. Very easy. Now, once we have the volume, it means we can easily calculate the materials. It is just the same formula. The cement equals the quantity of the material, the ratio of the material divided by the sum of ratio times the dry volume. It means we need the dry volume, okay? Now, it is the same thing as the mortar. So in order to determine the quantity of dry volume, we have to multiply the wet volume with the factor, which is 1.27. Now, never ask me where 1.27 comes from, okay? Because we have already covered it. So it means the dry volume is now 21.167 CFT. And now we will be just determining the cement for the same pointing, which is 800 SFT. So the cement must be the ratio of the cement, which is 1, divided by the sum of ratio, which is actually 4, and times the dry volume, which is 21. Just do some maths. We have actually 5.29 CFT. And you can even divide this by the volume of one cement bag to have 4.23 bags, okay? And the volume of one cement bag over here in Pakistan, it is actually 1.25 CFT. So by dividing that volume by 1.25, we can have 4.23 bags. And next, sand is very easy and straightforward. So sand must be the quantity of the cement, which has just been calculated. You can see that, times the ratio of the sand, which is 3. Okay, you can see it is just 3. And just multiply these two, we have actually 16 CFT approximately, okay, which may be 15.8 or 9 something. That's why I have written 16 CFT approximately. So this is how we can calculate different materials for the pointing. If there is any question, I'm ending the session.
ये 1/12 ये कहाँ क्या है 800 मल्टीप्लाई ये 1/4 मल्टीप्लाई 1/12
Okay.
1/12 confused.
That's a good question. Okay. As you can see, we have 800. Okay. That is in square feet. But 1/4, that is in inches. It means we have to convert inches into feet first. Okay. That's why we divided it by by 12. Okay, if there is inches, you can say, let's say we have 6 inches, and you need to convert this into feet, you have to divide it by 12. Okay, it becomes 0.5 feet. So similarly, over here, you can have the same process. Okay, is it clear?
No, sir.
Okay,
Again.
okay. Let me have another slide, okay, so I can make you understand.
Okay, sir.
Just a simple one, okay. Let's have another new slide, and then you can see the screen, right? It is just simple conversion. It means, if you remember, 1 feet is just 12 inches. Okay, it's simple. Now, in order to convert inches into feet, you have to divide the video by 12. Let's say we have 3 inches. So in feet, what should be the video? That's the reason we have to divide 3 inches by 12. And that then becomes 0.25 feet. Okay. So similarly, if we have 1/4 inches, you have to divide the same thing by 12. But we cannot write it in the same way, in the same form mathematically. So that is the reason I have put this video over there in terms of 1/12. What do you guys see now? Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Never be confused by that. Okay, I'm gonna change this thing to in simple form. Okay, let's say we have 1/4 inches. What do you mean by 1/4 inches? It means 0.25 inches, right?
Yes, sir.
1/4 inches means 0.25 inches.
Yes,
Now,
sir. Right.
now you have to divide 0.25 by 12. Simple. Okay, so it is the same thing. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there any question now?
Yes, sir.
And what is it?
सर जिस तरह 1 सैकड़ा बराबर होता है 100 क्यूबिक फीट का, तो
Yes.
1 सैकड़ा कितने क्यूबिक मीटर का बराबर होता है?
Very good, very good. I'm not gonna tell you the exact video, but I'm gonna just convert it to you so you guys can even work it for. I know the video how you work, but let me just convert it for you, okay? And how do you convert actually it? Okay, without just it is actually like approximately 2 point. Wait a minute, it is 2.83 cubic meter approximately. But let's just work out it. Okay, we have 100 CFT. Okay, you have to divide this by 3.281 cube because 1 meter means 3.281 feet. That's just clear. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so 100 divided by 3.281 cube actually becomes 2.83 cubic meter. So 1 sekra is now the same thing is 2.83 cubic meter or just 100 CFT. Okay, guys. See you tomorrow, inshallah. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, sir. Thank you.